Welcome to Black and Gold Today, a game day look at your Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, here's your hosts, Mike Finner and Ashley Kaiser.
Hello and welcome on into a special holiday edition of Black and Gold Today. I'm Mike Fenner.
And I'm Ashley Kaiser, and we're here to bring you the best Steelers pregame show each and every week.
No doubt about it, the Steelers coming off a disappointing performance their last time out on the road facing Indianapolis. They are turning their attention to a home matchup, the final home matchup in the regular season this weekend. Let's get you the latest on the Pittsburgh Steelers and take a look at what's coming up this week on the show. We'll dissect the Steelers' road contest in Indy against the Colts. We'll hear from the team and get their perspectives coming into a Week 16 already. Holy cow. Home meeting with Cincinnati. The second time the Steelers will face the Bengals this season. Fans sound off. Cooking with Jess as we go tailgating, and plus our picks, results, terrible towel standings, and upcoming week's picks. That's all coming up this week on the show here on Black and Gold Today. So it's time to talk matchup here in Week 15 between the Steelers and the Colts from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Steelers coming out with Mitch Trubisky leading the way at quarterback against Gardner Minshew. Early action, T.J. Watt, the sack. 2 of Pittsburgh's 3 sacks on the night going to big number 90. Steelers have a 4th and goal now later on at the 1. Trubisky appears to fumble, but after review, it's ruled a touchdown. 6-0 Steelers following a missed PAT. Same score. Colts back to punt. Connor Hayward coming in hot. Blocks it. Nick Herbig recovers. It's ruled down at the 1. Ensuing possession, Trubisky. Second play of the drive. Hits Deontay Johnson. It's a 4-yard touchdown. Steelers in business up 13-0 in the opening half. But before the break, Colts taking the lead. Gardner Minshew to DJ Montgomery, who makes up for some mistakes, including a drop touchdown earlier in the half. 14-13 Indy at the break. In the third, Colts with a takeaway that leads directly to points. Minshew finding the tight end Mo Alley Cox in the flat, 18 yards for the score. They added 3 field goals and scored 30 unanswered points. Indianapolis gets the win at home. Steelers fall 30-13 to lose their 3rd in a row.
It's being preached on all week since urgency. It wasn't urgent enough, obviously. We got out to a great start. They were the same spot last year, up 14-0 last year, and we weren't able to put the nail in the coffin. It's unacceptable.
It's frustrating when you shoot yourself in the foot multiple times and you can't respond. And like I say, it showed, and we didn't recover from it.
I mean, clearly, that sucks. It's not beneficial in any way. But like I said, we're going to get in and fix those mistakes.
Yeah, we got to be confident. We got to go back to the film, and we got to adjust quick. I mean, the road's getting narrow, so we got to figure it out soon.
What was Mike's message to you guys after that game?
Playing losing football. Not playing good enough to win.
Yeah, we're not happy how we performed. Nobody is, and we just got to look ourselves in the mirror and just keep going. We can't give up now. We got games left.
So there's your look inside the locker room post-game. Following those highlights for team statistics, we look at this breakdown of the Colts matchup. The Steelers were outgained 372-216 in yardage. Pittsburgh committing the game's only 3 turnovers as they were -3 in that turnover margin. No takeaways. The big one here, Pittsburgh on the hook for 8 penalties for 101 yards. Not a good statistic there. Pittsburgh's time of possession just 26 minutes, 40 seconds. The last stat, not really a team stat for this game specifically, but as we mentioned on the out, Pittsburgh with its 3rd straight loss, a season-long losing streak. How about some individual stats?
Yeah, as we look at, like you said, quarterback Mitch Trubisky leading the team there. He went 16 for 23 for 169 yards passing and a touchdown. He was picked off twice as well. For Deontay Johnson, he caught 4 passes for 62 yards and a touchdown. As for George Pickens, caught 3 passes for 47 yards. And T.J. Watt had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 quarterback hits.
Here's your look at Steelers and Colts in Week 15 from Lucas Oil Stadium. And how about our Black and Gold Player of the Week? Ashley, you kind of alluded to it already, but let's take a look.
And we'll talk about him here. T.J. Watt, once again, the linebacker, he was all over the field, especially at the start of this one. Watt had 3 tackles at the Colts, including 2 for a loss, and he had 2 sacks and added 2 hits on the quarterback. Congrats to linebacker T.J. Watt, our Black and Gold Player of the Week.
Now we take a look at how this affects the AFC North standings, as it's still Baltimore leading the way, Cleveland second, Pittsburgh in third, and I should say Cincinnati in third, jumping over the Steelers, who are in last place after suffering 3 straight losses. All right, let's take a look at this matchup and how it affects where we're at here in the standings and where Pittsburgh is at right now in the season. Steelers right now a long shot to make the playoffs. Obviously, they're no longer thinking about the AFC North. They are thinking about how do we get back into the win column after 3 straight losses, a season-long losing streak, and right now the wild card's looking like a long shot.
Absolutely. It's so hard to think about. It doesn't seem like that far ago they were first in the AFC North. So now they're last with a 7-7 record. Tough to come back from this when you have a split, win and loss there. But if they don't come back and get a win, I think it's going to be the nail in the coffin for them on this next one.
Some other news and notes. Damontae Kazee, he was ejected from this game for a target against Michael Pittman Jr., suspended for the rest of the regular season, tried to appeal, lost that appeal, so they'll be without Kazee the rest of the way. That's one important note. And then Cam Hayward left this game in the concussion protocol. He has since cleared that. He should be good to go then.
That'll make a big difference for sure.
And that should make a big difference on defense. Of course, the quarterback, something we will monitor here in this next segment as we take a look at what's going to be happening now moving forward under center for the black and gold. Still to come on the show, we'll head to the south side for the Steelers' preparations for another matchup with Cincinnati.
Stay with us here on Black and Gold Today.
You're watching Black and Gold Today. You're watching Black and Gold Today.
Welcome back to our holiday edition of Black and Gold Today.
It's week 16 and the Steelers are back at it, getting ready to face an AFC North rival, the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right, round 2 of Steelers and Bengals. Time to talk matchup here in week number 16, coming to Acrisure Stadium. We lead off our week 16 preview content with Coach Mike Tomlin's weekly press conference. For more on that, let's hear from Black and Gold Today's Dugan Lloyd. He has more from the south side.
This year, Rudolph might visit Steeler fans a night early. This week in his press conference, Mike Tomlin said that unless Kenny Pickett is ready to go, it'll be Mason Rudolph time in the Burg.
We can't make December calls with September people with playing experience, so I think it's important as we formulate a plan this week that we're really thoughtful about the configuration of people that we have at our disposal. You don't need more than 2 or 3 weekends to see a pattern, particularly ones that you don't like. And so we're not going to sit on our hands. It's our intention as we sit here today to give Mason Rudolph an opportunity to start.
The decision came after Mitch Trubisky threw 2 more picks and a 13-point collapse to the Colts. For a team entering week 16, that performance won't cut it.
We're not scoring enough points, particularly as you move into December football, man. You got to score more than 12, 14, 16 points in games this time of year. You better assume that others are doing the same.
When the going got tough at Indy, the Steelers lacked both the fight and execution to come back in what became their 3rd straight loss.
Mike, do you guys have maturity issues on offense?
You know, we got dealing with adversity issues, and sometimes that can be characterized as maturity issues, certainly.
So when the Bengals come to town off a 3-game heater, Tomlin knows his team's performance requires a full 180 to celebrate this holiday weekend.
I think that's one of the beautiful and challenging things of our league, man, is every week in this league. One week you're drinking wine, the next week you're squashing grapes. Obviously, we've squashed a lot of grapes of late. I'm interested in a little wine.
For a franchise that prides itself on cold weather football, the Steelers are still hunting for their first win of December. They're hoping that comes this week against the Bengals, who ironically was the last team they beat before going on a 3-game skid. For Black and Gold Today, I'm Dugan Lloyd.
Dugan, thanks. And quarterback Mason Rudolph, like you said, could make his first start since 2021 this Saturday as the Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Kenny Pickett was still limited during practice on Wednesday, so until further notice, Rudolph will be leading the sleigh.
No, I don't feel any pressure. I mean, I think we feel a sense of urgency. I mean, Coach Tomlin's challenged the whole offense, the passing game to make improvements, and the offense as a whole to score more points. So that's falls heavily upon the quarterback to be the catalyst for that. So,
does the team feel confident going into this AFC North matchup with a third-string quarterback?
Yeah, Mason's been awesome. He comes in every single day with a smile on his face and ready to work, and I can't say enough great things about him, and I'm excited to see what he does.
If his name get called, I feel like he'll do a great job at it. We all got trust in him no matter what, so he's a part of the team, so I'm rocking with him whenever.
Offensive coordinator Eddie Faulkner says he hopes Rudolph will be the spark that the Steelers offense has been missing.
Mason's got a confidence about him, we feel good about inserting him in. Mason works like a pro. He always has. And from that standpoint, we feel confident about putting him in there and going to execute. According to defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, the Steelers' 3-game losing streak isn't due to a lack of effort.
Our guys are dialed in. Sometimes you just don't get the results you want. You just don't get the play you want. But I don't ever think, being around these guys, I don't ever think that's from a lack of effort, a lack of want to, a lack of, inner fortitude, anything like that. It's just sometimes, stuff is bad.
Now it's time to turn things over to our experts for week number 16. Let's hear what two of the best of the Steelers beat have for us this week. Tim Benz with Triv Live and WDV Steelers pregame radio show, and Jeff Hathorn, sports director of 93.7 The Fan.
This is just one play, and it's a play amongst many that have gone wrong for the Steelers over the last 3 weeks and probably will be forgotten come March in free agency or April for the draft. But it does crystallize everything that's gone wrong for the Steelers of late when it comes to both coaching and execution. That was the decision to not have Chris Boswell kick a 57-yard field goal in Indianapolis inside in pristine conditions and instead have Presley Harvin punt. Harvin has not been consistent this year. Sometimes he punts really well, other times he has shanks. This time he punted the ball only 22 yards to the 17-yard line, virtually wiping out any advantage that the Steelers would have had by way of making that decision. So execution and a coaching decision that probably shouldn't have been in the first place, because why do you trust an inconsistent punter versus a very consistent place kicker? I don't know, but the two things came together to bite the Steelers in the backside, something that's happened all year. This constant argument about whether or not it's the players that aren't good enough or the coaches that aren't getting the most out of the players is irrelevant. You're not getting the most out of the players. The players haven't been good enough, and it's all come together. The argument between which is more important to me is null and void.
You might think coming off 3 straight losses that this game really doesn't matter. It matters a lot, not just to keep that outside playoff hopes alive, but how this team responds to this, especially after Mike Tomlin spent this week saying he's going to make changes, he's looking at playing time. This is important not only for the players, but how these coaches motivate the players. Forget about just this week. Big picture, this is a big referendum on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and a lot of jobs, so a lot to be watching for Saturday afternoon.
Thanks so much, guys. There you have it for our Week 16 preview content for the Steelers and Cincinnati. Let's take a look at key players for the Bengals on the other side. Quarterback is where we go on offense, but it's not the franchise QB Joe Burrow who's out for the rest of the season due to that wrist injury suffered just prior to the last time these two teams met. It's backup Jake Browning, who's been deadly accurate in his 6 games. Browning against the Vikings, 29 of 42 for 324 yards, 2 TDs, leading Cincinnati to a surprising overtime win, 27-24 over Minnesota. On the season, Browning, more than 73% of his passes completions. Here, 106 of 144, more than 1,200 yards, 7 TD passes to just 3 interceptions. He has been a surprise as he fills in for Burrow. How about on defense?
Yeah, you might remember him, familiar face here, former Steeler cornerback Mike Hilton. Hilton against Minnesota had made 3 tackles with a TFL and a pass defended, plus an interception for 16 yards. That's right, on the season, Hilton has 71 tackles, good for 4th on the team with 2 interceptions, and he has 1 quarterback sack and 9 tackles for a loss on the year.
So the last time these two teams met, Ashley, it was a 16-10 win in Cincinnati. Steelers are feeling pretty good about themselves. Since then, obviously, we know the story on the Pittsburgh side, but for Cincinnati, they're right in the wild card race themselves. A lot of people gave up on this team. They were left for dead with Joe Burrow out of the lineup, but Jake Browning, the backups, kept them in it. they're currently a playoff team right now.
Yeah, I feel like you can look at it as the Steelers might have confidence knowing they've already went and got a win against them on their home field, so that might give them a little strength, but how well Cincinnati is doing is going to be, a tough competitor to go against on your home field.
So division game, never easy in that sense, but now the Bengals have some steam, have some juice. You're looking at the playoff picture. You got Cleveland, Cincinnati, the Colts, Steelers chasing Buffalo as well, so this is a really important game to try to keep those playoff hopes alive. We'll have much more on the show coming up, including our fan sound-off segment. We'll also hear from Jess Ryan, go tailgating. Plenty more coming up on Black and Gold today.
Hey Steelers Nation, it's Jess from Tailgating with Jess. Just wanted to wish you and your family a happy holidays.
Hey everyone, this is Dugan Lloyd from Black and Gold Nation wishing you and your family a happy holiday season.
Welcome back to Black and Gold today. It's time for us to turn the show over to you, the fans.
Absolutely. With the Steelers' playoff hopes all but a Christmas wish at this point, we asked fans if Mike Tomlin is still the guy to lead the Black and Gold or if a changing of the guard is necessary after what's looking like a disappointing end to the 2023 season.
Let's go!
I think we just got to give these young guys some time to get acclimated and everything like that. And I think Mike Tomlin, I don't think he's got anything to worry about. He's still a great A coach.
I think Mike Tomlin's one win away from keeping a non-losing season, which he's never had a losing season. There's no change with Tomlin. He's still a fantastic coach. The fans are still behind him. Steelers are still going to do it.
Yeah, I do think Mike Tomlin is the guy in Pittsburgh, and I believe in him, and I believe in his theories, and I believe in his philosophies. Let's go.
Great stuff, guys. That brings us to this week's Fan of the Week, Sean Steinmetz, also known as Steeler Jesus, a true believer in the Black and Gold, raised on the north side of Pittsburgh. He's been a fan since he was a kid. Been doing this for almost 20 years now. He says he bleeds black and gold. His message at this time of the year for Steeler Nation, let's take a listen to exactly what he's got.
I love everybody. It's a Pittsburgh thing, man. If you're from Pittsburgh, you understand it. It's just the way it is, man. Everybody loves everybody. It's a thing. Love is good.
No doubt about it. Got to keep the hope. Got to keep the faith. It's time once again to go tailgating with Jess and see what she's got in store for us for this week.
Now, Mike, this recipe is easy to make. I feel confident that even you can produce this one. It's centered around pepperonis, so I think every Steeler fan will love it.
Hey Steelers fans, I have a super easy, no-cook, 3-ingredient dish for you today. We're gonna make a pepperoni cheese ball. This is something I had at a holiday party this year and thought it was outstanding, and I couldn't believe there were only 3 ingredients. You're going to quarter off about a half a stick of pepperoni into about 1-inch chunks, 1 brick of cream cheese, and then 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Pepperoni has so much flavor that that's really what you're going to get in this dip, so we're gonna take it and grind it up in this little food processor. So I just cut this into 1-inch chunks. There's just 4 of them in here. This kind of pepperoni is really spicy, so it'll have plenty of flavor in that cheese ball. All right, now that that's all chopped up, we're going to put it in a KitchenAid mixer. You can mix it with a spoon, you can mix it with your hand. The KitchenAid is just really quick. So we're gonna open this up, put in 1 brick of cream cheese, pour in that heavy whipping cream. Just gonna thin it out a little bit to make it a little more moldable. And we're gonna take the pepperoni that got all chunked up and pour it right in here. It's the holidays, so I'm just gonna let this mixer do all the work for me. We're using heavy whipping cream in there. It's going to combine with the cream cheese and make it a thicker type of dip. All right, now that it's all combined, we're going to put it in some saran wrap to form it as a ball. We're gonna chill it for a little bit and then serve it. So we're gonna lay down a sheet of saran wrap, spray it with some oil to prevent it from sticking. And then we'll take all of this delicious, cheesy pepperoni dip. You'll see it's orange from the pepperoni mixing around in there with cheese. Now you're just gonna wrap it up in this saran wrap and put it in the fridge until you're ready to serve it. You can leave this chill in there for as long as you want, or you can mix it, put it together, form it into a ball, and serve it as is. Pretty easy to plate. Just take it and put it there. That cooking spray is important. Don't forget that step. Then you'll want to plate it with some crackers. I love club crackers. I use the multi-grain. That's what everyone in my family really likes. So you can put a bunch of them out there. Serve it here. This one's going to be pretty scoopable on these crackers, and it's really delicious. You'll be surprised how much flavor comes from a 3-ingredient dish. Go Steelers.
All right, Jess, great stuff. As always, coming up next, we'll get you our picks for week number 16 here on Black and Gold Today.
Stay with us.
Hi, it's Jeff Hathorn from 93.7 The Fan and KDK Radio. We might disagree with stuff in sports, but what we can agree on is wishing everybody a very happy holiday and a joyous new year.
Hey everybody, Tim Benz here from Trib Live. Thanks for watching us each and every week. It's been a pleasure to be talking Steelers with you throughout this season, and I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thanks to all of our contributors here on the show, and welcome back.
It's time to take a look at our picks here on Black and Gold Today.
Let's take a look as we first, on our BGT predictor, go back to last week's picks and exactly where we stand, how things have played out to this point, heading into the final stretch. The two of us went with the Colts. Kent staying confident. Ardent there as a, going with the Steelers with a 3-point win, but ultimately it's going to wind up here with an Ashley towel. That's right. Colts win 30-13. You're catching up, making ground for this week's picks here in Week 16. I'm going Steelers at home. I'm going with the wild card pick. You guys are going Cincinnati. How come?
I'm going with the swing of things. It's been 3 in a row. I'm not going to be surprised if it's 4.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out in Week 16. Steelers and Bengals AFC North battle. For Ashley Kaiser, our entire crew, I'm Mike Fenner. We want to thank you so much for joining us each and every week and during this holiday season. From our team, want to wish you a happy holiday and enjoy the game as the Steelers take on the Bengals in Week 16.
Thanks for watching. Join us next week for another edition of Black and Gold Today.